Yeah, I'm thinking Greg Alexander Carr just had a little bit of a misstep there. He's now back all the way to 10th. Greg Wychinski and Brian Johnson, they had that interesting pit strategy to where they did a two-stop. It actually seems like it's working a little bit for him as Wychinski has moved up to 6th place, getting by Greg Carr.
Yeah, Greg Carr now floundering out there on the high side. Brandon Passalacqua also going to go by him as well.
Wychinski could end up catching up to Mark Sanchez. There's about 4 seconds in between them, but Wychinski has much newer tires. He is not going to be able to catch up to Josh Schaffner, I do not believe, but he possibly could catch up to Mark Sanchez. It could. I don't know if it's in the realm of possibility of him catching Kenny Pound, but it could be. It could be. I mean, they have coming up on, I think, 13 laps to go, but I'm surprised that this two-stop strategy seems like it might have had some viability to it.
Well, especially because we were thinking about the amount of time it was going to take to actually get foreign fuel. And these guys actually came out here and they demonstrated not only could you do it without going more than a lap down, but you could do it twice. And ultimately, the 5 and the 4 have done just that. The 4, Brian Johnson, now going to be battling on the inside of his teammate, Greg Wychinski. Now that's going to put Brian Johnson up in the 6th place as he continues his track, trying to get up to the front here to better his position.
Yeah, that puts Brian Johnson, like you mentioned, in 6th place. So he's going to be seeing if he can't catch up to Mark Sanchez. Now only about 2 seconds separate those two drivers. So I would not be surprised to see Johnson. He's going to catch up to Mark pretty quickly here. As you see, even on the screen, Mark starting to come into view. So Brian Johnson going to see if he can't maybe get up into the top 5. Been struggling all day. The only thing he really has been successful at has been qualifying. Of course, looks like he's definitely maybe been catching up with the adjustments. Looking at the track temperature, though, it has cooled down substantially. I think when we started out in this race, it was 113 degrees. Now it's 91.
Absolutely.
So it might be
It's a
helping
lot
out
of
Brian's
grip.
car.
Lot of grip out there, man. With that cooler track temperature, you definitely believe these guys are. Their times might not show it, but I'm definitely guaranteeing it's a lot easier to control the cars later on tonight with a cooler temperature.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. And Josh Schaffner's getting ready to, I think, catch up eventually to Alexander Carr. Might run out of time, though, as we're now less than 10 laps to go here in the Cracker Barrel 250. Of course, only 10 drivers on the lead lap. Everyone else is 2 laps down or more. This has been a race of attrition for sure when it comes to tire wear. And a lot of times when you get in these ISCA races, the conditions of the racetrack are different than what you encounter in the A Open. So I think that's what a lot of it is as well, that these guys got used to a certain track temp in the A Opens, and this has been much different. I think the track temps in the A Opens have been even hotter. But Josh Schaffner now out to over 8 seconds on Scott Naslin, so he's pretty much got it in the bag unless something happens, and there's still time for something to go wrong. But what a clean race we've had here. No real incidents when it comes to hitting one another. I mean, that's a shock. Usually, the ISCA is known for being some of the cleanest racing out there, but you even talked about it a little bit earlier, Big Al, about how some of these guys get heated, and we usually see at least one incident that involves car-on-car contact. Haven't hardly seen any of that tonight. I'm telling you what, these guys definitely are being very chill.
Chill is definitely the operative word here for what tonight's race is. Whenever we come here, we know this is a highly technical track. That's why it's called a Worldwide Technology Raceway. But it's a highly technical track, and it does bring a lot of trouble to some drivers. Tonight, we didn't see that. Really, for the most part, these guys have come here and really ran exceptionally well.
And it looks like Alexander Carr goes a lap down, so that's going to put 9 drivers on the lead lap as we come to 6 laps to go Blink and you'll miss it, ladies and gentlemen. If you have already, don't go away for a bathroom break because this thing's getting ready to be finished, and we're going to be crowning ourselves a winner here. And Josh Schaffner, could he be that winner? Will something go wrong? It's not over until the checkered flag comes out, or at least the white flag.
Well, I got to be the white flag.
I mean, that's just what the color of the flag is, man. But Josh Schaffner, utterly dominant performance here, has led well over half the race and is now almost 9 seconds out in front of Scott Naslund.
So 5 laps to go. So I guess the question I would ask you seriously is, do you think the clean air was really that big of a factor?
Yes, I definitely think clean air was a huge factor. And I think that to explain why is just because this place has long straightaways, which you want to have some draft to help you get pulled along. But the corner, I think, is what the biggest part of it is you spend so much time in the corners at this racetrack, and when you have clean air, it allows you to get through the corner a lot better and not wear as much of the tire. And I think that's what really is going to be the key here on why Schaffner fought so desperately at the end or the beginning of stage 2 to get that lead.
That and the fact that I think Schaffner has a better long distance handling car. The first stage being the shortest stage, that's the stage that Naslund won. But after that, it's all been the Schaffner story. I mean, in those stages got progressively longer, and the longer the runs and the temperature went down, it just all fell right into the corn man's lap.
That's right. He's fueling that race car with ethanol, that's for sure. As we come here soon to 2 laps to go. Just 2 more circuits around this place for Josh Schaffner. Will he build his gap up to 10 seconds? Definitely a distinct possibility. Brian Johnson might catch Kenny Powell. He's actually about 2 seconds back from Powell and has been running much faster. Wouldn't that be something? At the detriment, though, of Powell. I'm sure he wouldn't be too happy about that.
Yeah, 2 laps ago, definitely thought Powell was going to finish a little bit higher, but he had a strong points night tonight, and that's what it's all about. Brandon Pastelacqua coming back after, a 4-race hiatus. Definitely, he had a good night as well. Probably not as dominating as he would have wanted it to have been, but definitely a strong showing nonetheless. But the big headline of the evening is going to be Josh Schaffner dominates at the Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Yeah, and it really speaks volumes to his driving ability to be able to conquer a place like this. White flag is out. Next flag will end it no matter what happens. And Josh Schaffner, almost 10 seconds is his lead. He has a lot of time. He can wave to the fans. He does not have to be very stressed out on this last lap, that's for sure. He has quite a gap, and it is over now 10 seconds that Josh Schaffner has built here at Gateway. He exits turn number 4 down the front stretch, and he will win at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, otherwise known as Gateway. It's going to be quite a long time for Scott Naslund crosses the line, as he just now is crossing the line here in second place. And here comes Brian Johnson, or Chris Johnson, I should say, able to wrap up a 3rd place finish. Now, it looks like we do have the results here. Of course, we'll let Josh Schaffner, we'll take a little bit of a moment of some silence here to let Josh Schaffner celebrate this dominant victory. Back to victory lane, the 50 car goes.
Seems like it's been a little bit of time since the 5-0 has actually came across victory lane, but I mean, he is a champion.
Hey everybody, my name is Warren Maddox. I am the president of Ultimate Experience Outdoors. Our mission, we are dedicated to taking veterans, first responders, youth, and Gold Star family members on outdoor excursions across the country.
Support for our mission has many forms, from camp cooks to the great storytellers, some buddies with the band, maybe you just want to build a campfire and sit around and listen. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Camaraderie is reborn. The acceptance among the men and women that took an oath.
Whether it was decades ago or recently renewed, but never forgotten.
If you feel like you could help us, please visit our website, www.uxonation.org.
There, you can register to hunt, sign up to sponsor an event, or even donate to us so we can continue to execute our mission.
Oh my gosh, I'm so comfortable, bro. We get a hug, man. What have you done, Jim?
We need your help to hold the line once again.
We believe it means more when something's made by hand here at Cracker Barrel, and we hope you think so too. So stop on by. You're always welcome.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back as we have completed the Cracker Barrel 250 here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, otherwise known as Gateway. Of course, we're going to start off with our third place finisher, Chris Johnson, who had a miraculous day today. I mean, starting in 17th position. Chris, how did you do that?
Well, it's all thanks to TWRS and G&G for working on the setup and getting me prepared for tonight.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like you had a really good race car. What did you think you needed to get a little bit better there? I mean, I know third's great, but, do you think you had what it took to maybe get up there and battle with Schaffner and Naslin?
I wish I would have qualified. I was actually thinking about not racing this race. I wasn't really in the mood, wasn't feeling too well, and I was going to cut it loose. And Brian and Kenny kind of talked me into it. So yeah, I'm here and got third.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how are you feeling? I'm probably exhausted, right? I mean, this is a physically demanding racetrack, right?
Yeah, it demands 110% of your focus, and as soon as you lose focus, that car will come around.
Well, we didn't see a whole lot of guys spinning and stuff like that tonight, which was kind of interesting to see. Adding the shifting aspect to it, how difficult did that make it?
No, it's not too difficult. I mean, with the shifting, it gave you opportunities to kind of do that. I know, I believe Josh was doing it in mid corner and Kenny was doing it mid corner. I was actually shifting right at my braking point, so I was using a lot of my engine brake. So I
Hmm.
mean, it's just different different techniques, I guess.
Yeah, this track definitely allows for a lot of different techniques for sure. But you did a great job out there. Glad you did run because otherwise you wouldn't have got this third place finish. Of course, got to thank your brother for that for sure. I'm not sure where we're going next week. I think Sonoma. Kenny, maybe you can step in and is that right?
Yeah, Sonoma.
That's what I figured. That's where NIS is going. So Sonoma, how do you feel about that road course?
Well, road courses aren't my strong suit. I usually just try to go out there and have fun on the road courses, and yeah, not my strong suit, but looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely a tough track too. I mean, it's a lot of elevation changes and whatnot, and definitely excited to see when we make that trip out there to California. That's about the only other time I'm excited to go to California. But thank you for your time, Chris. Who will give a shout out to?
Of course, Southern Spiral Pipe, y'all up in the booth. Josh has worked with TWRS, getting us in the TWRS cars, which are blazing fast, and of course Kenny, Brian Johnson, and everybody at G&G.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, Chris, and we'll see you next week, brother.
Thank you, sir.
All righty. That was Chris Johnson, driver of the 99, finishing in third here tonight. Next up, Big Al standing by with Scott Naslin.
Scott Naslin, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Man, am I excited to talk to you, sir.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, man. So you came out here tonight and you really all but dominated the first stage. Now, at the end of that first stage, there was two words that you didn't say in your post-race interview there with Brian, and that was clean air. So now I'm going to ask you, at the end of this thing, how much of a factor was clean air in the race for you tonight?
I think it was a pretty big factor, but I also think Josh was class of the field. I did notice at the end of that run that the first lap, the first leg of the race, I knew that I wasn't gapping anybody anymore. Once Josh and Kenny got up there, they were staying right at 3 seconds. So I knew that they were going to be coming in the second leg. That's why I made adjustments to try to make the car faster.
Do you think those adjustments were counterproductive? I mean, because you really had a rocket ship there in the first stage, and like you said, after that, I mean, it seemed like you were just trying to do everything you could to keep your head above water.
Yeah, like I said, just way faster than me. I mean, he was definitely the class of the field. He looked really good out there. I don't think there was any adjustments that I could have made to even try to stay with him.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you ran your own race, man, and it was a show within itself. So congratulations to you for doing what you did. I mean, you led 48 laps here tonight, bringing it home in second place. So none of those feats are really anything to really be anything other than proud of, if you will, right?
Oh, for sure. It was a great race. It was a long race. It was a very long race, but shout out to Josh for winning the race, Chris Johnson for getting second or third. I'm sorry.
Next week, we're headed out to Sonoma. We're going out to wine country. I mean, can we expect to hear any wine coming from your country? You think you guys going to come out there with a setup and try to put this thing on the podium and maybe even bring it in the winner's circle?
I'll be whining, but it won't be drinking wine, that's for sure. I'll be trying to get the car on the track. That's about it.
Roger that, man. Well, good luck to you. Before we let you go tonight, who you gonna shout out to for your second place finish?
I need to shout out to Hyperforce Esports, Don Wheaton, Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, Cadillac, Abruzzi Racewear, and of course, Team Watson Racing Setups. There's a rocket ship this week, and go out there and get you one, man. They are great.
Well, as always, buddy, it was a pleasure watching you perform. Can't wait to see you next week. And as I always say, don't party too hard.
Oh, I'm going straight to bed. I'm tired. Good night.
Alrighty, that was Scott Naslin, driver of the 22 machine, finishing in second place. Definitely well-deserved bedtime after that race for sure. Next up, we're going to be talking to the 50 and most dominant driver so far, or should I say driver tonight. I mean, led 142 laps. If that's not dominating, I don't know what is. Josh Schaffner, man, what was under the hood in that thing? Did you have ethanol power in that race car?
Yeah, definitely got American ethanol produced by our corn growers across the country. Appreciate all their work. But yeah, car was great tonight, and I do got to give a shout out to Brandon Pasalacqua. I was kind of dreaming up some concepts. TWRS has had a great set all week. We've been dominant, and every time you get to ISCA, we have such great drivers and guys make small gains. And I was just kind of trying to think up maybe what could we do just to find a little more. And yeah, Brandon, he did a little testing today, and we talked on the phone while I was out seeing customers in farm country, cruising down the interstate, and he did some testing. And I didn't turn any laps with it before the race, but I took his word because no one's a better test driver than he is. He just runs such good consistent laps and feedback, and he deserves a lot of credit for running a lot of test laps today and getting this thing dialed in.
Definitely, for sure. So y'all made quite a bit of adjustments to the race car?
Yeah, we just a few changes, and the big thing here is I just figure, man, if you can just find, even a quarter of a tenth a lap, just anything with the great drivers we got. It's a tough league. It's hard to run up front, and it's hard to win these races. You got to work hard every week and put the time in and the work in, and yeah, just everything worked out great this week. And yeah, TWS Kenny Coppola, they had an unbelievable set that they launched out, and a lot of us haven't made many changes all week. It's been dominant, but they deserve a lot of the credit, and we just found maybe just a little more speed, and it worked out tonight.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it did for sure. I mean, you guys were really quick. All of the G&G drivers were really fast here tonight. Considering you got first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, that's pretty big right there. So, got to be a big celebration for the whole G&G camp, right?
Yeah, they did a great job. Everyone did tonight, and we had some different strategies there, and that was interesting. And as we were talking about that, I was a little nervous. I really didn't want to try to pit twice, and I still thought with the how good my car was on the long run that'd be okay. But I'm not gonna lie to you, Brian and Greg, they had me nervous when they came blowing by with like 20 laps to go. But once we got to 15 to go, I saw the lap times and knew I was gonna be just fine. And Scott was really good the first 30 laps. Congratulations to him and Chris on the podium. Yeah, he had a great car 30 laps. I really had to kind of get out front and just play a little bit of cat and mouse with him and maybe pull away back up to him, pull away back up to him just to be safe. I really didn't want to lose that clean air, but he was super competitive for 30 laps. And after 30 laps, I could pull him and just kind of run my pace, but I just had to be careful the first 30 laps of each run.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like we were kind of watching you do that. Or you would get out to about a second and you would fall back to 6 tenths. So that was kind of on purpose, just kind of to maybe coax him into driving harder than you should.
Yeah, it was two things. Needed to keep my tire temperatures in line, but also maybe just throw a carrot out the back. And as I'm maybe trying to cool my tires, maybe force him just to be a little bit faster through a center, maybe heat his up, and just kind of play that game of cat and mouse, which with this tire model you have to do if you're out front, just kind of maintaining the pace.
It seemed like it definitely worked. Of course, congratulations on the win here at Gateway. Of course, next week we're going to be heading to Sonoma, which is, of course, a quite a elevation change kind of featured racetrack. How you feel about that road course?
Yeah, road course racing for me, I've really come to enjoy it over time, and I go into every road race. I'm going to prepare and try to do the best I can, and learn where I can find some time. And then the big thing for me when I road race is I just want to keep it on the road. I always joke with the team, my goal is to run a road race at 0x, and I will probably say probably 50% of the time I can do that. I may not be the fastest, but I just got to keep it on the road and just try to improve each road race we go to. And compared to 2 years ago, I'm 1,000% better. Still not as good as a lot of guys, but it's still nice to make small gains and get better each year at road racing.
All right. Well, definitely looking forward to seeing how you improve this coming week. Who can we give a shout out to, Josh, after this big finish here tonight?
Yeah, I always want to thank my wife and daughter for giving me time to come down and do this Thursday night and run this great league. I want to thank Buck Kicker for sponsoring as always. Want to thank Brian, you and Big Al in the booth that come out and join us each week and do such a great job on the broadcast. We all really enjoy that. And yeah, I want to thank Kenny Powell for all the work he does and just all of our great drivers. I know I say that every time I'm on the podium, but this is a driver's league, and if you're looking to race with some good guys and clean racing where you can run side by side and also come out and learn from everybody else, this is just a great league to participate. So if you're watching, certainly reach out to us and come run some races with us. And I also want to thank all of my G&G teammates. We've been working really good the last few weeks, and I think our results are showing that. And yeah, TWRS as always, Kenny Coppola, great job, and thank the sponsors, Pioneer and Smith Farms, and definitely the American Ethanol. It powered this thing to victory lane tonight.
That it did. I'm telling you, everybody's going to be switching now because apparently they really cranked up the RPMs there for you. Great job to you, Josh. Congratulations once again, and we'll see you next week at Sonoma.
Appreciate it.
That was Josh Schaffner, the driver of the 50 machine and winner here for the Cracker Barrel 200 or 250. I have been struggling saying Cracker Barrel all night long, so bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I've been getting a pretty good ribbon for
Indeed,
it.
you have.
But definitely, we've enjoyed our time here tonight with the ISCA Thursday series. Hopefully, everybody else has enjoyed it. And I'll echo exactly what Josh Schaffner just said about if you want to join this league, it's definitely an awesome league to join. There's so much talent in here, wide variety of talent as well. Guys that are just getting their stride and getting better and better. I mean, you look at guys like Greg Carr, Alexander Carr, Mark Sanchez have just been getting better and better every single week they come out here. And you could be that same person. If you feel like you struggle on iRacing, you could only need to get out here with these guys, and they'll teach you a couple things for sure just by even following around with them. Look up the iRacing Stock Car Association on the league directory. Fill out an application. Get in touch with Kenny Powell. Look up the iRacing Stock Car Association Facebook page. Reach out that way. There's multiple avenues you could take for sure. We'd love to be able to call your name and shout that, oh, you're passing into turn 3. We'd love to say that for sure. But we definitely appreciate everybody out there as well that tunes in and all the people that support all of their favorite drivers that compete week in and week out. But any final thoughts, Big Al?
Man, what a race, what a pace, and I can't wait to be back next week to shove it in your face.
That's right. Well,
I was just trying to rhyme, but yeah, it was an awesome show, awesome production. Thank you for being an awesome, partner, and Kenny Powell putting on awesome production, man. Just a great group of guys, and look forward to doing it again next week.
100%. Definitely echo those for sure. And we appreciate everybody out there watching once again. And make sure you do tune in next week. Thursday will be 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A little bit after that's when the race will go green. Of course, the stream starts at 9:15. So if you want to hang out a little bit earlier, we'll be live and ready to go. And we'll see you then, ladies and gentlemen. And y'all have a great night.